was born in Tennessee and later I moved to Indiana and then to Texas. I was a proud Tennessean and a proud Hoosier. Now, I'm a proud Texan, but not a native Texan. That's important, at least to somebody born in Texas. My normal response to this is, well, I'm from Tennessee, and all the people who got kicked out of Tennessee ended up in and populated Texas. Now, the first thing I realized about Texas is that it's really weird. Let me explain that. Now, you've always heard that everything is bigger in Texas. Well, that's pretty much true, but let's get this fact out of the way. Texas is not as large as Alaska, and Alaska is a state, so Texas is not the largest state in the Union. But Alaska doesn't have any counties, and it's cold up there, so they don't count. Here are some Texas big stories. For example, if you are in Texarkana, Texas, you are closer to Chicago than you are to El Paso, Texas. Check it out on your own map if you don't believe it. Even Texas counties are big. Brewster County is the largest county by area in the state. It's over 3 times the size of the state of Delaware. Sorry, Joe. And more than 500 square miles bigger than Connecticut. Well, shucks, that ain't nothing. The King Ranch in South Texas covers 1,289 square miles. And compare that to the size of the entire state of Rhode Island. Now, the Capitol building in Austin is taller than the U.S. Capitol in Washington, about 15 feet taller. Texas is larger than any country in Western Europe. You could fit several within the Texas borders. Texas is twice the size of Germany, and around several towns such as Fredericksburg and New Braunfels, there is a dialect of the German language called Texas Deutsch, which is only spoken in Texas.
Jedes Mal dasselbe. Ja, gut.
Well, enough of the big already. Let's get on to the weird. According to Texas law, it's perfectly legal to shoot a Bigfoot in Texas. Now, I've seen some Texans that probably ought to stay indoors owing to their Sasquatch resemblance. On the other hand, here are some things you can't do according to Texas law. It's illegal to sell your eye, to dust a public building with a feather duster, to milk somebody else's cow, and to shoot a buffalo from the second story of a hotel. Incredible! It's a criminal's paradise. Texas is a really fast-growing place. Good housing costs attract a lot of people, and you can go fast. The speed limit is 85 in Highway 30 near Austin. Food is great too, Tex-Mex or barbecue. And speaking of barbecue, if you're ever close to Austin, drive over to Lockhart and check out Crisis. Bar none, the best barbecue in the world. It's only served on butcher paper and no sauce is needed or offered. It has been said that you should never trust a Q joint that's located beside a freeway or one that features sides. So it's a matter of opinion, I guess. Now, I haven't done this episode just to brag about Texas. It's not that at all. I just think that everything that I've mentioned is interesting. Weird, but interesting. Now, if you're moving to Texas, I suggest you read James Michener's novel, Texas. Like most of his novels, it has a deep backstory. Everything usually starts at the Big Bang. It'll provide you with an interesting angle on all things Texas. If you're a Texas native and you ever read the novel, I suggest you do so. You may not be so boastful as you are now. For example, when the honored Texas Rangers were formed in the early part of the 19th century, they had only one purpose: to kill Indians and Mexicans. That pretty much says it all. But I'm proud to be a Texan,